Hi guys, for thoughts from the pastor this week, I thought I'd get all botanical and bring you to one of my favourite plants, Freddie the ficus. Now, at first glance at this plant, it looks pretty healthy, right? But if you're a keen botanist, you know something doesn't quite add up because this isn't actually a ficus leaf. It's actually the leaf of a lily pilly. And these leaves look so verdant and green and healthy, but they're actually in big trouble because I've actually cut them off and attached it to my ficus. They're on borrowed time, they're going to die. They look so healthy, but they're actually going to be thrown away, right? So here is the actual Freddie the ficus. Perhaps I've been in isolation too long when I'm naming my plants, but let's not go there. But here is Freddie the ficus. He's been with me for 20 years. I actually bought it from a nursery in Milton when we lived on the south coast, and he moved back to Sydney with us. And sort of 6 weeks ago, I realised he was in big trouble. The leaves were going yellow and falling off. And I actually thought he was on death's door. So I put him behind the shed to die a slow death on his own, being the caring person that I am. But I think it was my wife had a chat to my father about what to do, because it was a beautiful plant. And my father, who's a bit of a green thumb, suggested that we take Freddie out of his pot, that we cut back the root ball, that we prune back the branches, that we put fresh soil, fresh fertilizer around the base, that we repot it, and then just see what happens. Now, for the first 3 weeks, because I cut it back by maybe 3/4, which is a pretty hard prune. But what had become clear is the root ball could no longer nourish the life above the soil. But after a few weeks of just wondering whether I'd killed the plant, these fresh new shoots started to emerge, like beautiful fresh new shoots. And I think Freddie is going to survive. Like, I brought him out from behind the shed, and I put him in a prominent position in the backyard to show him off. So what looked like a death is now alive. Now I thought it made me just reflect on this whole experience of isolation as being like a pruning experience. All these things have been cut back. Some things have been thrown out altogether. A lot of activities that we previously could do, we just haven't been able to do. And to be honest, that's felt like a death at times. Particularly for me, I love being around people and I just haven't been able to do that. But I bet it has for you. People of all kinds of personality types still need people. So it got me thinking and reflecting on the passage in John 15, where Jesus said that God the Father is like a gardener and he's the true vine. And even for Jesus, this is amazing, God cut off branches in his life that bore no fruit, and he pruned the ones that were there so they become more fruitful. Like, Jesus was pruned back in his life. He had to keep realigning with the Father and his mission and his calling. And I wonder if God has been part of this pruning for us, and he's pruned us back. Help us to get rid of some things in our life that maybe needed to go, and just as refining some of the things that can stay but need to be reshaped and remolded. I wondered sometimes if we're fanatically busy, we're busy for busyness sake. I wonder if our busyness is not sustained sometimes by our life with God, like the unseen stuff. And I wondered if it was just a call back to basics. So a call back to time with God, being nourished by Christ. A call back to pay attention to some of our fundamental relationships in our households and the people just around us. And perhaps even a call to pay attention to the ugliness that maybe has emerged for you in isolation. I know for me, there's some character stuff that's God shown me. A bit irritable, a bit short at times. I tend to take that out on others instead of dealing with the ugliness in my own heart. So God has shone a light on some of my own stubbornness and unhelpful ways of being a human being for others. So I wonder if that's been true for you. But I realised there's a point where I actually need to stop and cooperate with the gardener and his pruning, and I need to stop fighting it. So I wonder what you need to reflect on. What things has God cut out of your life that doesn't need to return? What things need to be refined? How can you pay attention to your roots? See, John 15 goes on to talk about how we're just like branches, and branches are sustained by the life of the rootstock and the main part of the trunk. As soon as we're cut off from the rootstock and the trunk, we're on borrowed time as well. So we need to stay attached to Christ, who's the source of our nourishment, who's the source of our life. And he will do some pruning, and it will hurt, but it will be worth it in the end. Thanks. Have a great day.